Hello everybody and welcome back to The Wild at Heart. I'm standing here where we left off last time. Scrap Heap took his leave, but before he did, he upgraded our vacuum for us. And so using our new power, we are going to advance onwards. So we will be leaving the Forgotten Path. So once you have your backpack, you can go over to the right here and you can suction this large log using the high power. There's also a hidden pathway on this piece of the shore here. We can open up this chest and we're gonna get a very important item, which is a piece of heart root resin. So this is a rare sap which we use for upgrades and improvements. And I am not entirely 100% sure, but I do believe that we need to open every single one of these large chests hidden throughout the game in order to be able to upgrade everything. And most of these are hidden. There are lots of hidden areas throughout this game. Whoops! Did not mean to throw him in the river. I meant to vacuum this little spriteling towards us. Pick up a few things here on our way out. So I'm gonna go ahead and stand on the shore here and use our vacuum on that windmill. Will allow us to keep going, vacuum more trees, and that will bring us into the Heartlands. So this is an entirely new area, and again we can see that this map is really quite nicely detailed. It'll show you all the different ways that you can get in and out of an area. It's also going to put campfires and base camps on our maps as well. And it will also highlight the objective for us. These are also new plants that we haven't seen before. These are alternative ways to pick up some glint if we don't want to spend our time fighting. And those are kind of just laying around, so that is another option for us. And here's Scrap Heap again. Wow, cool. Help yourself to its various amenities, the stash box, the crafting bench, and the tent. Over there we have a recall waystone, handy for summoning lost Spritelings back to your herd. And pay special heed to the Spirit Well, a gateway to the Spritelings' ethereal home that allows access to many useful actions. From it, you can withdraw or dismiss Spritelings as needed, deciding which one to take with you and which to leave stored. Eventually, you'll also be able to hatch new Spritelings, among other things, but do not overwhelm yourself all at once. Plenty of time for learning. Heck yeah, I can't wait to check everything out. Indeed, but alas, we must now turn our minds to other matters. Yet another obstacle hinders us. Throw thy gaze northward and see that the gate across the way has failed. It appears to be missing a large cog. We'll have to repair it somehow if we're to make it to the Grove, the headquarters of the Green Shield Order. Alright, so we're gonna get to work on that. And we'll just go over a couple of things that he's mentioned, because they're all important things to sort of bring up. When I played this game, there was no waystone area here to bring all your Spritelings back. So this is a new addition, and basically if you lose any of your Spritelings out in the wild and you can't get to them, you can't find them, and you don't have a way to get more of them, then you can use this to basically bring them all back to you. So very, very handy, not a bad system. And I'm gonna go over the spirit well in just a little minute. I'm gonna use the twiglings here to clear this little area because we're gonna get a useful item for the well. This blue heart-shaped plant we're gonna go ahead and destroy, and we're gonna pick up these weird looking seeds, and these are actually what we can use to create more twiglings. Every single type of spiritling that we find will have their own pip, their own egg, and so we can bring these back to the camp and we can hatch new twiglings that way. So we're gonna go ahead and just stash everything. I think I'm able to put these into the stash. I may have to have them on my person, but we'll check it out. It looks like it's okay to leave them in the stash, which is good to know. And from this menu, you can hatch new Spritelings. So basically just going over what I just said, you can combine the pips with the glint to hatch more of them. And they're fairly cheap. They only cost 10 glints each. We've got lots, so let's go ahead and hatch 3 of them to start out with. They will automatically be added to your herd. And from here you can also choose how many Spritelings you would like to have. So currently we are allowed a maximum of 15 Spritelings. So if we wanted, we could have 15 of these little guys following us around. If we wanted less, we can leave some of the Spritelings here. So you can see if I choose to have 5, leave 2 behind, they will kind of just hop into the well and I can pick them up and add them. As long as you've hatched them and you've left them here safely, they should be available for you to pick up as you need. I would eventually like to have 10 of these little guys, but 7 is gonna do just fine for now. I'm gonna go over crafting a little bit later, I think, just because I have a very limited amount of items at my disposal currently to be able to really talk about crafting. So we're just gonna go ahead and move on. This little bridge here requires sticks in order to build it. So the sticks are close by for our convenience. We'll go ahead and just get them to build the bridge for us and we will move forward. And before we move any further, I'm going to use my vacuum on this here, which actually turns out to be an enemy. Those guys can be kind of a pain, so I just decided to take care of him right away. This area over here has a treasure chest, as we can see, that we cannot get to. There's no way for us to get to that at the moment. So when you're out on the map and you're exploring and you see things like this, so you see this treasure chest and you want to remember it for later, what I would advise is to go to your map to see if it's already marked on your map, because certain things will get marked as you go along and exploring. So obviously the treasure chest isn't marked at all. There's nothing here. We have the option of pinning things on our map. So if we press A to pin, we get all of these different icons. which is great. So you have different options for being able to pin things on the map, and that will be a good reference for later on. Some of these aren't terribly useful. I wish there was actually just like a large treasure chest icon, but there is none, so you just have to kind of pick something at random and try to remember that that is your icon for a treasure chest. So let's just go with an apple. Slap a big old apple on there, and then when I look back at the Heartlands map, I will remember, oh yeah, there's a treasure chest there for me to go back and collect. So I really, really love this map. I'm very pleased with it. It's just makes life a whole lot easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and I want a few more pips. Like I said, I want to be able to kind of hatch a couple more of these guys and have 10 of them hanging around me. I don't need a lot. I don't need all of these pips, but I guess I'll pick up a couple of them. We also got ourselves a new crafting item. This is a beastie bit. And that's all there was over here. So let's go back and drop stuff into the stash. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to hatch a few more pips. We'll hatch 3 more. We'll get the 10 that I want. And we will carry on. So obviously this is the area that we need to fix. We need 8 of these guys to move this boulder, so let's go ahead and move this. And carry on this way. Oh, I forgot about that guy. That's my bad. If he does attack you, you can see that they can take a little bit of damage, but nothing too crazy. You're more worried about Wake taking damage than you are worried about your Spritelings. Some of them are more durable than others. The Twiglings are not too bad. They're not really all that fragile. They can take a little bit of damage. If we head over to the right, you can see that there is a chest here. So again, I could go to my map and I can pin my apple on here. I need an item that I get through crafting that I don't have access to right now in order to be able to get to that. So we're just gonna kind of ignore that for now. We have another new enemy here. Now these guys are kind of irritating because they can swallow your Twiglings. So I like to just completely bum rush these guys. I take as many of my Twiglings as possible and throw them. And usually that works. The issue with swallowing the Twiglings is if it holds it for long enough, they will actually die. So you need to be careful of that. The Spritelings can in fact die, so we want to avoid that if possible. So we've made it around to this little area that was closed with the gate, and we're gonna ask 3 of our Twiglings to carry the cog for us. So this is the cog that was missing. And it looks like Greycoat is trying to communicate with us, and we did find Scrap Heap. I just wanted to share a bit of information I remembered. Did you know that any wayward Spritelings will always be marked on the map? Very useful. If you're ever wondering where missing Spritelings might be, you've only to check your map. Yes, that is correct. We can't see them right now because they are standing right where Wake is. currently, but if you are missing Spritelings, which does happen fairly often for different reasons, then it is pretty easy to actually find them and figure out where they've gone to. You can see here that this boulder is too large for us to move. Even if we hatched a bunch of these guys, we are only allowed to carry 15 at the moment. So let's go back over to this area. It's optional to destroy this wall. We're gonna set the little guys in motion to do this work for us. If you have a lot of them, strength in numbers, they definitely will work together. This large object here requires 10 of them to move, which is why I wanted 10. And we're gonna gather up some sticks here. Now, what I'm doing right now is actually optional. We don't have to do this part right now, but I'm gonna do it while I'm here, just because I'm here and I'm gonna remember. So now I'm gonna send these twiglings over to build the bridge, and as they walk away, we can check our map and we can see what it looks like when you're looking for your twiglings or any other spriteling on the map. You can see that they're just little dots, and so that will tell you where they are. And it's nice that they're individual dots because you might have lost spritelings in different areas of the map. So that will tell you where they are. And all I really wanted to do was just to build this bridge and to go over to this next area. So this area here is Wisp Wagon. Now this is far, far, far beyond our abilities currently, but because it's easy to build the entrance to Wisp Wagon, I figured I would just unlock it on the map. And this is a good reminder of where it is also, because if we're being told to go to Wisp Wagon and we don't quite remember where it is, we already sort of have it uncovered here. So I'm definitely going to just turn right back around and we will carry onwards. Now up these vines, this area is also optional. I'm not going to bother destroying this wall because there's nothing that I can do at the moment. So we'll head to the left and we will destroy this barrier just to give ourselves a shortcut. And then we will open the gate with Wake. You've truly mastered the employment of Spritelings and the features of your device. We can now proceed to the grove. The day has begun to wester, but we should have enough time before nightfall, should we not dilly-dally. Speak to me when you're ready and we'll be off. For the benefit of starting the game out, they haven't really talked much about the day and night cycle. It's obviously just been nice and sunny and we haven't had to worry about nighttime. The only time it was night, we weren't able to explore freely. But the day and night cycle plays a huge part in this game. It's really, really important. So that's, I think, the next little bit of the tutorial that the game is going to cover once we are ready to talk to Scrap Heap and head out. I think I've pretty much covered everything in this area. You can see that this giant boulder has been marked on our map, which is nice. And then I've marked additional stuff like the treasure chests that hopefully I will one day be able to come back for. But that's pretty much it for the Heartlands. And we are ready to follow Scrap Heap. So we will do that in the next video. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.